I'm a freelance graphic designer. I pretty much design anything like logos, stationery, packaging, posters, advertising, etc. I mean, a few companies have hired me. Like, there's this one company called Brilliance Enterprises in which I designed a few documents for them. And I got paid for some of the jobs that they gave me, and I have to say that, it's very well paid, but, they rarely use me. It's like an on-off job. I mean, it doesn't really pay me much, but at least, I get a lot of freedom for it, so that's pretty good. Now I just want to say that there are actually a lot of movies that I like. And it's for me, it's kind of hard to say which are my top 5. And most of the movies that I really love, the top 5 ones would have to be films that were done by Christopher Nolan. He did movies like Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Prestige, Insomnia, and of course one of my favorite ones would have to be Memento. It's actually one of my favorite #1 movies of all time. I mean, for me, that is by far, without a doubt, Christopher Nolan's best film. It's definitely a must-watch if you love The Dark Knight and Batman Begins and all his other movies, so make sure you give that a look. No, I haven't seen Keikashi, but I will give it a look. That would have to be Chitose from Ah My Buddha. Mostly because the English voice actress who play as her had this annoying high-toned voice. And she doesn't really play that character really well. Not to mention that she's one of those stereotype characters who, slaps the male character for being a stupid idiot. I mean, I just didn't like her. That would have to be rice. You see, I lived in Brunei for a very long time, and rice is pretty common over here, and I usually eat it like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so, well, mostly lunch and dinner, not breakfast. And I have pretty much ate it ever since I was a child, so, yeah. My favorite food would have to be, you probably never heard of this kind of food. It's called ambuyat. I guess the best way to describe it is that it's like edible glue. And it's very tasty. You guys should try it out someday. As for my favorite drink, anything orange. For me, the hottest chick in the world would have to be Olga Kurilenko. You may know her from films like Hitman, Max Payne, and the recent James Bond movie. I think she's just sexy and beautiful. I mean, I loved her in Hitman, and I thought she was awesome in the James Bond movie, but for Max Payne, not that good. My favorite action anime would have to be Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. I mean, I just love the fist fights in that film. I mean, the fight scenes look realistic, and they are so bone-crunching. Of course, the super moves don't really count. You know the anime Ranma Half? Well, a long time ago I used to play this Ranma Half fighting game that was on the old PlayStation, the PS1. And I really didn't like that game because, like, the graphics kind of stink. I mean, even the anime looked better than this video game. Not to mention that there were moments where you transform, like from boy Rama to girl Rama. I mean, pretty much the moments when you transform is so random. I mean, you can't tell whether they're gonna do it when you're fighting now or fighting later. And not to mention the gameplay stinks. Sorry, I haven't seen School Rumble yet, but if I get a chance, I will definitely check it out. Root beer. Well, mostly because I'm allergic to it. I mean, if I drink root beer, it will just, like, dry up my throat, and it will feel like glass scratching down the insides of my neck. I would like to see Battle Angel being remade. I mean, I heard that James Cameron was supposed to do a live-action movie of this, but he's been saying that for years, and I just don't want to wait for him. I definitely need to see Battle Angel being made once again. I mean, it just deserves to be remade. That would have to be Madhouse Studios. I mean, many of my favorite animes have been created by Madhouse, like Trigun and all the Yoshiaki Kawajiri films that were made by him. I mean, I just love that studio just for him. Well, I have to admit, I mean, another year's gone by, I've become a little older, a little wiser, and possibly a little crankier. When you mature, I mean, sometimes your tastes change and everything. Like, for one thing, I don't put my posters of Silverchair around my room anymore, as you can see from the background. And I barely even watch television anymore, because pretty much my favorite shows are dead or canceled or whatever. And I truly hate MTV. It just sucks. I would like to review video games, but the only problem is I don't really have the technology or any of the equipment to review any video games, so sorry about that, dude. The only anime that actually left me in tears would have to be Grave of the Fireflies. I mean, that is without a doubt the saddest anime that I have seen in my life. I mean, it's about these two kids trying to survive World War II, and seeing them trying to survive is so heartbreaking, sad, and yet it has a really powerful storyline. I mean, it just left me speechless. I mean, I still feel like crying even when I think about it. Loli Moi anime. That's the anime with the cute children, right? I mean, personally, I don't really like watching those kinds of animes because it feels so, you know, pedophile-ish. No, I haven't actually seen any anime that's actually made me vomit, but although I kind of wish that I did when I saw Green Green and Ah My Buddha, I really wanted to vomit for those animes.